Well, the first Muslim illegal alien turned naturalized citizen, then became city councilor of District 7 in Boston, was just sentenced to a month in jail for fraud. Viva Frei, former Montreal litigator turned current Florida rumbler, in my home office on a rainy afternoon, which actually makes it very nice to do car vlogs because I will not get baked in here and I can sit here without the car running. By the way, if you don't know who I am, make sure that you are liked, shared, subscribed. Before we get going, if you haven't heard this story, you're going to hear this story and it's going to blow your freaking mind. From WCVB5, Boston's news leader. Former Boston City Councilor Tania Fernandes Anderson sentenced to 1 month in prison. Prosecutor and defense make their case in new filings. When we get into the details of this story, you will not believe it. And also bear in mind, this indictment came 9 months ago under the Biden administration. You have to be one bad apple in order for the Biden administration's DOJ or attorney generals to go after you. These are the details of the story. Boston. Former Boston City Councilor Tania Fernandes Anderson, who pleaded guilty to running a kickback scheme, was sentenced Friday to 1 month in prison. She was ordered to report to prison on October 17. During Friday's sentencing hearing, Tania Fernandes Anderson began sobbing and told the judge how sorry she feels. Outside the federal courthouse, after the sentencing, the former city councilor spoke about racial issues in Boston and her dislike for the media. Now, I'm going to play the video of her statement outside the federal courthouse. At the end of this video, you will not believe how pathological it is. She's not a victim. She takes full responsibility for it, except it's white media's fault for painting the black community improperly, inaccurately. She's taken full responsibility for everything, except the media was not reporting on the facts accurately. It was a kickback scheme that she had done when she was a city councilor using city funds to give an employee in her office, who I think also was a family member, although she lied about the person being a family member, a bonus of $13,000 under the condition that the person give her the $7,000 cash that she needed to pay off another amount that she was ordered to pay because of her wrongdoing. You will not believe the facts of this case. Here's a video of the prosecutor or the attorney, the dude who prosecutes, describing the contents of the indictment.
The indictment charges Ms. Fernandes Anderson with 5 counts of wire fraud in violation of Title 18, United States Code 1343, and 1 count of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds in violation of Title 18, United States Code 666. According to the indictment that was returned by a federal grand jury earlier this week, Ms. Fernandes Anderson was facing financial difficulty in 2023. Part of that financial difficulty stemmed from a sanction that was imposed by the State Ethics Commission of $5,000 for Ms. Fernandes Anderson hiring immediate family members in her Boston City Council office. And in around that same time in 2023, Ms. Fernandes Anderson, the grand jury alleges, hatched this scheme to funnel bonus payments, taxpayer money, into her own pocket in the tune of approximately $7,000. Specifically, despite the fact that she was under investigation by the State Ethics Commission, Ms. Fernandes Anderson hired another family member on her staff at Boston City Hall to handle constituent services. That staff member was related to her, but Ms. Fernandes Anderson falsely represented to City Hall that there was no familial relationship. That is staff member A in the indictment. Ms. Fernandes Anderson then went on to tell that staff member A that she would give that person a $13,000 bonus. That bonus of $13,000 was more than twice as much as Ms. Fernandes was paying to the rest of her staff combined in bonuses. But that supersized bonus came with a hitch. Ms. Fernandes Anderson told staff member A that she would need to fork over $7,000 in cash back to Ms. Fernandes Anderson. Staff member A agreed. The indictment alleges that after staff member A received the deposit of approximately $10,000 after taxes in her bank account, staff member A was directed to make cash withdrawals. And she did that in the days following the receipt of the money in her bank account. $3,000 on May 31st, 2023, $3,000 on June 5th, 2023, and $4,000 on the afternoon of Friday, June 9th, 2023. And shortly after that last cash withdrawal, Ms. Fernandes Anderson and staff member A texted each other, and they arranged for a meetup in a bathroom in City Hall. That meeting happened in the bathroom around 4 o'clock or so on that Friday. And when they met inside that bathroom, Ms. Fernandes Anderson put $7,000 in cash in her pocket, the grand jury alleges. All of that money was funded by the taxpayers of the city of Boston.
And now back to the article, and recall that she was in the courtroom sobbing, giving a teary-eyed story about how sorry she feels, and then outside the courthouse, she goes on to say this. Quote, "I wasn't trying to gain momentum or popularity. I actually don't like talking to you guys. I actually don't like being in the media. It's just too much. And so can you please, for the love of God, stop talking about me? Just let the story go. It happened. I took responsibility," end quote, she said. You will see from the video at the end of this vlog, she actually claims to be an introvert. She doesn't like talking to the media, and she wants the media to just stop talking about her story and how she embezzled tens of thousands of dollars of city funds to pay off an amount that she was ordered to pay because of other improper, immoral conduct. Yeah, if I were in her shoes, I would also want the media to stop talking about my criminality. And not for nothing, but we'll get to this in the vlog, I don't play identity politics, and I'm not the one playing identity politics in this story. She happens to be the first Muslim, first illegal alien turned naturalized citizen, city councilor, who then goes on to commit egregious fraud. Back to the article. Quote, "Tania Fernandes Anderson was elected to serve her constituents, but instead she deliberately used her elected position as a Boston city councilor to serve herself," end quote, United States Attorney Lee Foley said in a statement. Fernandes Anderson was arrested at her Dorchester home in December on federal fraud and theft charges in connection with the kickback scheme. She was indicted, and as the saying goes, you can indict a ham sandwich, and I am skeptical of the whole prosecutorial system. She was indicted, she pleaded guilty, and this is what she pleaded guilty to. She pleaded guilty in May to securing a $13,000 bonus for a staff member and then taking an envelope with $7,000 in cash from that staff member in a city hall bathroom, and she relinquished her seat. Her defense attorney has argued that Fernandes Anderson was a caring public servant who, quote, "did not fully appreciate her role as a public steward," end quote. Oh my goodness, she meant well by what she did. She got into trouble in the first place and then concocted some stupid kickback scheme to pay off the amounts that she was ordered to pay in the first place. This is just someone with absolutely no respect for the law and no respect for the position that she was elected to serve. But alas, she's a bit of an introvert, so would you just stop talking about the story, media? She's already said sorry. She's taken responsibility. Well, unfortunately, taking responsibility means dealing with the consequences of your criminality, which is the media talking about it for as long as they bloody well want. In their sentencing memorandum, prosecutors said their request of a year and a day in prison was justified by what they wrote was her, quote, "pattern of greed, deceit, and abuse of power," end quote. Quote, "Fernandes Anderson's history shows that she never learns her lesson," end quote, the government's memorandum said, pointing to her being ordered to pay a $5,000 fine for an ethics violation related to her hiring her son and sister for city hall jobs before beginning the bribery scheme. She never learns her lessons. Wait until you hear her 3-minute insane, psychotic, pathological diatribe at the end of this video. She took responsibility for all of this, but it's white media's fault for painting the black community improperly, but she's not a victim, except it's whitey's fault. They also wrote that she used campaign finances to make personal purchases at Target for candles, throw pillows, skirts, and other items. Defense attorney Scott Lauer wrote that despite Fernandes Anderson's background, quote, "marked by poverty and trauma," end quote, she rose to become what she saw as a voice for a marginalized community who, quote, "cares deeply about her district and how it is affected by council business," end quote. She literally stole the money of her constituents to pay off an amount that she was ordered to pay because she unlawfully hired her son and somebody else in her family to work for... You couldn't make this stuff up, because if you made this stuff up, people would say you're a liar. Nobody in life is that stupid and dishonest. But alas, defense attorneys are going to defense, and here's what they had to add in defense of Fernandes Anderson. Quote, "but in other aspects of her position, she proves less adept. As a counselor, she was vested with discretion to hire staff, set salaries, and award bonuses. Ms. Fernandes Anderson's instinct was to use her authority to uplift those she was closest to. She did not fully appreciate her role as a public steward, the need to set appropriate boundaries, and the importance of avoiding financial entanglements," end quote, Lauer wrote. Lauer argued that Fernandes Anderson should be sentenced to probation and a, quote, "significant amount," end quote, of community service. Ultimately, Judge Indira Talwani sentenced Fernandes Anderson to 1 month in prison, 3 years of supervised release. She will be required to pay $13,000 in restitution and a $200 special assessment. Now, I said I don't play identity politics because I don't play identity politics. That being said, she sure as hell played identity politics, and the rest of the world kind of might see this as a very very, very bad example of the first Muslim illegal alien turned naturalized citizen becoming city councilor only to defraud the constituents she was elected to represent. Viva Frei at the Viva Frei. Holy hell. Even when, quote, taking responsibility, end quote, she acted like a spoiled child. Quote, I'm asking you for the love of God, just let the story go, end quote, she said. Quote, it happened, I took responsibility, end quote, she said, adding that media should also strive to more accurately cover stories involving black people. To which Rebecca at Rebecca MTN wrote, she lived in the US illegally for 30 years and only became a naturalized citizen in 2019. She should have her citizenship revoked and be deported. From Wikipedia, Tania Fernandes Anderson is a Cape Verdean-born American politician, nonprofit executive, and convicted felon. She has served as a member of the Boston City Council, representing the 7th District since 2022. A Democrat, she was elected in 2021 to succeed Kim Janey and represented Roxbury-Dorchester and part of the South End. She was the first practicing Muslim and first former illegal immigrant elected to the council. And after all that, if you still had any lingering doubts as to the pathological degree to which this woman is not taking responsibility for her own criminal wrongdoing, wait until you hear what she has to say right now. But before you go listen to that, make sure that you're subscribed, make sure that you have notifications turned on, drop a comment in the comment section, but most importantly, exercise, eat healthy, sunlight, talk to people in real life, and now you know your vlog. Peace out, peeps. Booyah!
Thank you for so many people being here. My God, I'm not that important. And I hope that after this, you guys will stop talking about me, because I'm actually an introvert and it hurts when you put me on the news. And for Boston Herald and all of the folks who've try to create stories, try to verify your facts. The reason why I don't talk to you is because you never report accurately on black people. You're always causing some sort of trouble. And you know what? The responsibility really is not on Boston Herald or ABC or Fox 25. The responsibility should be on the black community. We need to create black media so that we can actually be able to create a fair story and report accurately on black people. The emotions came from what I said. Tell me, what's your name again? Miss Sacchetti, tell me the last time that you caused a sin, that you committed a sin and you did something wrong. And I took responsibility for every bit of it. I didn't make excuses. I didn't say I didn't do this part or that part. I took responsibility for all of it. But there is a moment in your life where you've had to admit to your wrongs, that you've had to do that. But what the media does is you guys really hurt families, you hurt people. You report on stories, you don't consider people's children, you don't care about where they are, you don't care that I'm a black woman, that I'm an immigrant, that I'm getting death threats. And I'm not a victim, I'm not saying any of that, and I took responsibility. I'm asking you to humanize black people, especially black women, especially black immigrants. And there's no excuses here. It's just simply report accurately, be responsible. And to my black community, this is where we are in the state of things in Boston, a city where we have so much money. I wasn't what the prosecutors said. I wasn't trying to gain momentum or popularity. I actually don't like talking to you guys. I actually don't like being in the media. It's just too much. And so can you please, I'm asking you for the love of God, stop talking about me. Just let the story go. It happened. I took responsibility. I'm off now. My Uber's here. And thank you for the real ones who were always fair and actually reported accurately. I thank you. I do have to go.
No comment.
You had asked for
the public didn't get to hear your statements inside.
Can you respect? I'm trying to manage I'm trying to manage two groups. If you just give me a moment, it'll just be 30 seconds. I want you to respect what I just said. I would like for you to understand what I said. You hurt people, even when people take responsibility. Even when I say to you, I take full responsibility, the good, the bad, all of it. And you guys still try to report inaccurately on black communities, on black people. I'm not a victim. I'm not portraying to be a victim. I'm asking white media to report accurately on black people and black families and stop hurting people.
What is your response to getting prison time?
The response
to your sentence to getting prison time.
Everything that happens is for a reason. Everything. Everything. Alhamdulillah. Everything. All praise due to God. Everything. Alhamdulillah. And that is the last thing I'll say. And don't follow me because then I might trip. I'm only 5 feet tall. Please let me walk over.
Ms. Anderson, we couldn't hear you in the courthouse that well.